ass nap when I came back home and shit.
I see you went past the live.
Yeah, I know. I was fucking talking to Aisha, then I went to sleep. I forgot to set my alarm and shit. You know how that shit goes.
I feel you.
Hell, I'm just now making myself something to eat.
Yep, no doubt.
Just want to put this in the oven. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put this shit in the oven and shit like that. Then once I do, I'm gonna put my camera on and shit. Cause I will put my camera on right now, but I don't like the light right now.
Right,
I've been listening to Funkadelic like literally all day.
no doubt.
I forgot how much bangers like the group had.
Yeah,
Cause I forgot
so it's always good to go back and listen.
for real. Cause honestly, some of them earlier records I kind of slept on and shit. But I'll explain why.
And some of the latter part are bad. I really don't like those at all.
Hold on. You mean like Post One Nation Under a Groove?
Nah, I'm talking about the recent shit that they did, like the latter ones
Oh,
that they try to update their sound.
we'll talk about those. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about those. What's good, everybody in the chat? But I was thinking about talking about that particular R&B artist on the group chat.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about
let's
starting
do
off.
it.
Yeah,
I got like about maybe two or three on vinyl from him. So
same. I got a good amount now too,
yeah,
so we can
yeah,
start off
yeah.
with a double review next week. I'll text you in a minute
All right,
because it's long overdue. We talk about this artist and shit.
facts. It's only right.
I'm going CD shopping tomorrow. I know one of my albums is coming Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send Eric his Coogee Rap album next week.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Beyonce's coming up with it. Beyonce's coming out with new music. Drake got an album. He's dropping Midnight and some shit.
I just saw that shit.
That album, who's making his album covers? Like really?
At this point, he's probably saying this, so he don't need to do album covers no more. At this point,
Cause that shit was ugly. I'm sorry.
yeah, they
That shit
don't
was.
make good album covers no more. It's like there's no creative process.
It's not.
Motherfuckers is lazy.
But honestly, the Beyonce album I definitely want to check out and shit. Cause it's been a while since she dropped some new music. So we still gotta talk about that Carter's album at one point.
Oh lord, we could just skip over that.
And
Yeah,
I'll do a solo review if you don't want to talk about it.
yeah,
So just to get it over.
yeah. You don't have to do that. It's just that is anybody like really waiting for that though? Are they waiting for that?
You know, you're right. Cause I haven't talked about a lot of Beyonce. I'd rather talk about the solo album than fuck it. Like
I mean, we could do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's up to you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll think about it.
It's up to you.
I'll think about it. Shit. Oh.
Yes.
That's actually the first song I've ever heard from this period.
That's like one of the first for me. Like it was that and Flashlight.
Something about the music. It got into the yeah, y'all better know, man. Raised on it. Just
Right.
because I'm a hip hop head, I was raised on that funk, man. Y'all better
Right.
know.
Right. Facts. What you trying to get for record store day?
But when is record store day, first of all?
Saturday?
Man, honestly, man, I don't even pay attention. I just get whatever I get on them days.
Right.
The shit that I do want, they overcharge like a motherfucker.
I'm trying to get that brand new Heavy's joint. They re-released it.
Which one?
The Heavy Rhyme Experience Volume 1.
Ooh,
Released it on orange vinyl.
okay.
So that's the only thing I've seen that I'm trying to get. Like fuck everything else.
Something about the music.
Yeah, I actually was gonna buy that on CD, and then I seen the that they re-released it on vinyl. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the vinyl joint.
Yeah, man. All I'm gonna say is this collection video, man, I cannot wait to show.
George Clinton actually Funkadelic actually performed here yesterday.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
in Central Park. But I didn't know they were performing. But yeah, they did a concert in Central Park.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I just need deep in the I tell you, Drake's fan base is gonna go crazy.
Oh Lord.
The Lord and Savior drops some new music.
After that shit that he put out last year, I could kill less.
His Lord and Savior.
Crazy.
I guess we'll have to push T this is
God.
more of him talking about his son.
Right? The same old shit.
Right. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make the pasta tonight. I'll put the chicken in the pasta tomorrow. Fuck that. I have enough pasta that can last for 2 weeks. Like I tell motherfuckers, I make sure that can last me at least a good 2 weeks and shit.
Right.
If I don't put the chicken with this batch of pasta, I'll put it with the next batch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna start in about 5 more minutes. Yo, why is the chat so fucking dead, yo?
Who knows?
I'm surprised no one's talking about Pac's birthday on the chat.
That's the last thing I want to hear.
I'm surprised no one's talking. I was like, damn. Let me stop. Let me not start no shit. Yeah, Ronnie, maggot brain, man. That's probably Eddie Hazel's best moment in Parliament Funkadelic. Whenever I think like the Funkadelic side of things, I always think Eddie Hazel first.
Right.
Favorite R&B and funk album? Q ask. Honestly, my favorite R&B album, I'm gonna save that for the rest. But I'm gonna say one of my favorites. Um, the OJ Survival. That's one of my favorites.
No doubt.
Once we do this top R&B albums and shit like that, yeah, cannot wait.
It's gonna be dope.
That's gonna be fall of 2022.
Is that when we're doing it? I thought it was gonna be this summer.
Yeah, like I plan on doing like around August. I just want to have a set time. Ashley, because she goes to work and shit like that too.
Oh
So
yeah, that's right. True,
yeah.
no doubt.
Well, I was going to say something else. Chloe, one half of Chloe and Allie just dropped a new song and shit.
Did they?
You said what?
I said, did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did, not they.
Oh, I'm so used to hearing Chloe and that and
Okay. This is the word of advice: never cook with your shirt open.
oh boy.
Sparks. I'm not cooking my shirt off right now. I'm just saying sparks will start flying.
Right.
One time
We don't want you to get burned, yo.
I was cooking bacon with my shirt off one time. That shit almost burned out the skin off.
Oh man, we don't want that.
Hell no. I'm going down. I'm going down. And that's what I was thinking when I almost got burned and shit.
Right, that's what you were singing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now let me ask you this. Speaking of that song, who do you think had the best version of that song? Royce Warriors or Mary J. Blige?
Oh man, I love Mary's version though. Mary's
Same,
version was dope. You know,
same.
Mary's version definitely was a dope one.
Yeah, Mary's version. I honestly I love Roy's voice,
Uh
especially
huh.
when Al Grant did it. But with Mary, I felt it more with Mary, especially because she was with Casey at that time and shit.
Uh huh.
Like, but Gwen, she did a thing. Now, when it came to Wishing on a Star,
Oh
she
yeah,
got that. She
for
got
sure,
that.
for sure,
And
for sure.
anybody that did a cover of Wishing on the Star fails in comparison.
I agree.
Hell, I even liked it when Jay Z sampled that. I think from Volume One is like a European version of Volume
That
One.
was. I think that was. Yeah. No, I thought that was Reasonable Doubt. That wasn't Reasonable Doubt.
It was one of those albums. It was around
Yeah.
that. It was around that era and shit too.
Yeah. It might have been like a bonus track or something.
Yeah. I'm wishing on a star. Oh, and also, Love Don't Live Here Anymore.
Uh huh.
Hell, it was so that song was so good. Madonna had to cover that song twice.
I was talking about that with some people and that was on her best was like a compilation or something.
I
It
think the
was
first you
or
talking
like a
about
version
the first version or the second version?
that was on like a virgin, right?
Yeah, the first one it was like a B side from like a
Okay.
version era. Then the
Yeah, cause
second,
I don't remember that. I gotta. Yo, it's been years since I
yeah,
heard like a virgin.
that
I gotta
honestly
check.
that first version is trash.
Okay.
The second version for something to remember compilation, that's the one I prefer and shit. Because Madonna's voice wasn't developed all the way at that time and shit. Oh hell no! Where the fuck my seasonings at, yo? Shit, hold on. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay, I found my seasonings. What's up, Antoine? How you doing? Yeah, the original. You can't top the original and shit. I'm telling you. What you supermodel and a bad girl. Okay, today is MC Rand's birthday. New Jack City, New Jack. New Jack. Alright, Try's Wi-Fi was fucking up, so once he comes back, we're just gonna start this breakdown. Yeah, Antoine, I want to do something different for this month as well. Yeah, I have that guy New Jack City song stuck in my head. That's why I'm doing that bass line. I would never do anything to hurt you. Oh, you bought some new CDs and vinyl, Antoine? That's what's up. Yeah, maybe if you want to drop by the collection video, just let me know. Yo,
Yo, yeah, what up?
yeah, I know how
My
that
bad.
I know how that Wi-Fi should be and shit. I'm gonna read one more comment. Guy, New Jack City or Levert Livenfoot? Oh, definitely Guy, New Jack City. Just that intro with the bass line and shit like that, and Aaron Hall's
Mm-hmm.
vocals.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, I love the Troop and the Levert rendition of For the Love of Money, but I mostly like it for Queen Latifah's rap in the beginning and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That was
I feel like
dope.
that set it off, in my opinion.
Facts. No pun intended.
Clever. I I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Let's go.
Okay, what's up, you two? How's everyone doing this lovely Friday morning, Thursday night? This is Ward Rage in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
What up?
So this is part two of the whole Parliament and Funkadelic breakdown and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm a bit late. I took a hella long than usual nap when I came back home and stuff like that. I thought I set my alarm, but I didn't. So I was like, oh shit. But you know what? We're still here. We're still doing our thing and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So today we are gonna go into the Funkadelic side of things. You know what I'm saying? And I've always said this, when it came to Funkadelic and Parliament, I liked how it was like two different styles, but it was intentional and unintentional, if that makes sense, because, originally he lost the rights to whole Parliament name, so that's why he formed Funkadelic in the first place and shit too. But then once he got that shit straightened out, it's like he had the Parliament for like the more commercial R&B, the contemporary R&B. Then you had the Funkadelic, that was like the more experimental kind of shit. That's why I said it was like intentional and unintentional at the same time too.
What up, Antoine?
Yeah, man, Antoine in the building and shit. He's talking about he got some albums. Oh, you got Herb Albert's The Lonely Bull, Nancy
Facts.
Wilson. Oh shit, Shirley Bassey.
Mm.
Yo, I definitely gotta see your collection, man.
I got some
Like,
Herb Alpert shit too on vinyl.
shit.
That's dope.
Okay, you a jazz head. Okay, I fuck with that already. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start off in 1970 with their self-titled first album. This came out when they were on Westbound Records, the same label that Ohio Players was. It was a traditional funk, an influential funk label at that time too. This album right here, I mean, this was a very stripped out acid rock influence album, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right.
Like I love this one. Like Mama Mommy was a Funkadelic. That pretty much set the whole pace and
Facts.
shit. Oh, by
Kanye
the
was
way, let
good.
me, let me say the personnel for this album because each Funkadelic album is kind of different. So
Mm-hmm.
you had Eddie Hazel on the guitar, Tar Walls on rhythm guitar, Tiki Forward on drums, Billy Nelson on bass guitar, Mickey Atkins on Hammond organ. That's the Funkadelic side of things. Now, when we get to the Parliaments, we got George Clinton, Clarence Fuzzy Haskins, Calvin Simon, Ray Davis, and Grady Thomas. That's the Parliaments and shit like that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, just letting y'all know. What is Soul is very dope. I love like the guitars and from Eddie Hazel, like the feedback they were definitely using.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt like their first Funkadelic's first three albums definitely was borderline heavy metal, if you ask me. Like you could play this next to like the MC5. Um, what's that one group like Black Sabbath and shit like that too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, many people might disagree with me or not, but just listen to fucking music for my mother and shit like that. You'll know what I'm
Right.
talking about. So this is a five mic masterpiece right here. I don't give a fuck. What's up? Shout out to my homegirl Kaya and shit in the
What's
building.
good? Salute. I thought it was good. I didn't hear heavy metal. I heard more psychedelic rock mixed with like R&B on this album.
Okay.
Like when you hear like tracks like Good Old Music
Yeah.
and I Got a Thing, You Got a Thing, that was like more psychedelic rock. And Mommy was a Funkadelic. That was dope. That song was sampled by De La Soul
Yes.
on the De La Soul is Dead album. I forgot what track it was though on that album. The intro part was sampled by them. Definitely a solid album. I'll give it like 4.5 mics. Definitely was. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like some songs off that album. So
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that's not one of your favorites because it's like when I was growing up,
hmm
when I heard the funkadelic side of things, I was mostly growing up during like the late 70s,
right.
the One Nation Under a Groove, Uncle Jim Want To, which I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
hmm
So years later, when I grew up and I heard the earlier Parliament Funkadelic shit, I was just like, damn, this was what you really think of that sound and shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Cause like, and it's funny because a lot of motherfuckers sampled from this album too. That shit,
hmm
you know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like it has more of like a cult following than anything. Like the first two records compared to like the Maggot Brain and shit.
Yeah, I forgot to give you the Amazon the documentary on Amazon is called "Tear the Roof Off: The Untold Story of Parliament Funkadelic,"
All right,
and it
I'm
came out
definitely
in 2016.
all right. I'm definitely gonna watch that tonight and shit like that.
Yeah.
Cause we can probably talk about that like later on this month as well too.
Okay.
Um, so also that same year in 1970, they dropped their second album, "Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow." It's funny because we recently just talked about En Vogue, Funky Divas and shit,
Right.
and that's where they got that line. That's where they got it from. This album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was so close on getting this album, but motherfuckers are trying to charge me like $50 for it. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm
That's
good.
crazy. That's crazy.
Right, because this is a rare album and shit. So um again, the personnel is still pretty much the same personnel. Um you had like Martha Reeves from like Martha Reeves and the Vandellas Motown group appearing on this album.
Right.
Yeah, Thelma Hopkins and Joyce Vincent. Yes, that Thelma Hopkins, Aunt Rachel from Family Matters. Because she was originally singing with Tony Orlando and Don, stuff like
hmm
that. So
Yeah.
she was on this album as well too. Can y'all still hear me right?
Yeah.
Okay. He has songs like the title track, which very, very dope song. Again, another hard rock and psychedelic tripped out acid rock kind of sound. Funky Dollar Bill, I love that one. Eulogy and Light was pretty good too. Yeah, man, this was the pretty much like what I got from this album. George Clinton said that he called the album "Free Your Mind" to say because they were doing this whole album in acid and shit like that too. So
Right.
y'all know how that shit goes. Well, all my acid heads, y'all know how that shit goes. But not everyone take acid. So I'm gonna give this again. I'll probably give this a 5 out of 5. But this one again was still some hot shit.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a short album, it's like 6 songs, and I definitely enjoyed it. Eulogy and Light, like you mentioned, was dope, and Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow, a classic record. Funky Dollar Bill, some more. I love the production. I'm gonna give it 4.5. I think it was a solid album, and I love the album cover as well.
Yeah, that album cover is very dope as
Yeah,
fuck. I'm trying to
yeah.
think. Somebody redid this album cover. I'm trying to think, but
I don't
it'll
remember.
come back to me. Now, I know Redman redid the next album cover for an album he didn't like, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that. The legendary Maggot Brain. Oh my
I
fucking
have this
god!
album. I can't find it right now.
You said you have this album?
I have the album on vinyl, but I can't find it. So I don't know. I don't know where I put it around the house.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I got it on vinyl too. I just haven't opened it yet.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, this album, man. This is Eddie Hazel's best moment in P Funk.
Right.
Eddie Hayes is this the title track alone.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because according to like George Clinton, he told Eddie Hayes to play like your mother was dead or some shit like
Yes, they mentioned that in the documentary.
yeah,
They mentioned that in the
that
documentary.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Cause it definitely had like a funeral kind of feel to it, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um I love that track too. But then it wasn't just about the title track because you had songs like Hit It and Quit It. Love the fucking
Yes.
bass line on that one.
Fire.
Um, You and Your Folks, Me and My Folk. That was literally one of the first songs about interracial relationships, especially in
Hmm.
R&B.
Right.
Super Stupid definitely had a Jimi Hendrix and experience feel to it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But this was actually the last album where the original Funkadelic lineup happened because each member kind of left for different. Well, not each member. Certain members like Tiki Forward left because of drug use.
Right.
Tar Ross he left because he got into an acid. And this is from what I looked up. He got into an acid eating contest, and then he took some raw speed, and he pretty much was like having an emotional freak out, like a fucking bad trip. Then yeah, Billy Nelson he quit over money issues with Clinton, which we'll talk more about that later on
Hmm.
in this breakdown and shit. So this again, I mean, this is the five mic masterpiece and shit like that. I gotta be real with y'all.
Definitely. Definitely five mics. This is like one of the first albums I heard from Funkadelic, and the title track is classic. Hit It and Quit It, one of my favorites on this album. Can You Get to That? The production was great. I love this singing. And everybody did their thing on this album. So there's definitely five mics for me, and I hope I can. I don't know where I put the vinyl. It's somewhere around the crib, but hopefully I'll find it. If not, I'm gonna have to end up getting another copy. But they're definitely a classic album.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. All right, album number four, we got the America Eats the Young album. You know, this came out in 1972. This was the first album in P Funk in the Funkadelic side where it had Bootsy Collins, Catfish Collins, Chicken Gunnels, Rob McCullough, and Cash Waddy. This album to me was a very underrated album, very experimental, even on Funkadelic standards and shit like that.
Right.
A lot of instrumental grooves on this album, like even the first track, you hit the nail on the head.
Hmm.
Love that one right here. Loose Booty was pretty cool too. I like America Eats the Young. I Call My Baby Pussycat was pretty dope and shit.
Right.
Like this whole album definitely had a very funkier groove with some touches of some jazz, some rock, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This one again, pretty dope track. Fillmore, that was the first major songwriting effort for Bootsy Collins and shit like that. And that was like really the song where a lot of P Funk fans say that was like the true emergence of the whole Bootsy style and shit too. So I'm gonna give this album a 4.5 out of 5.
This was dope. Definitely, I love the album cover for that because it had like a real political like tone to the album. Like
Right.
even with the album title, America Eats is Young, and you got joints like That Was My Girl. Love that real funky track, nice beat. George is like saying, unlike a deck of cards where there's four of a kind, there's only one of her and she's all mine. Love that track. I Call My Baby Pussycat. That was real funky. Love the rock chords on that. The bass line. Loose Booty. That was a dope funky track. And you got like George like singing about Jack and Jill went up the hill, and those were definitely fire. I love this album was dope. I'm gonna give it like a solid four. Definitely a dope album.
Yeah, this whole album, I definitely felt like it was influenced by there's a riot going on from Sly and the Family Stone and shit.
Yeah,
What's up, at CW and Cena? It's been a while. Damn, a lot of people coming in this one. Okay,
that's good. Salute.
that's how you know P Funk brings people together.
And a whole
I
bunch of other stuff.
you said what?
And a whole bunch of other stuff.
1973. We got Cosmic Slop. This came out when they were still on Westbound Records. You know what I'm saying? This was actually the first Funkadelic album to have artwork and liner notes from Pedro Bell, who definitely made a lot of their most iconic album covers and stuff like that. Rest in peace to him, by the way. Very, very, very tripped out, funkier album and stuff like that.
Mm,
This whole album definitely had like it definitely again like a more hard rocking kind of feel to it, like Nappy Dugout. I don't have to tell y'all what a Nappy Dugout is. Y'all should know. Cosmic Slop, that was a very dope track as well.
yes,
This Broken Heart I loved. March to the Witch's Castle, that was a pretty dope track as well. You definitely had like Bernardo Boyle on keyboards, Boogie Manson on bass guitar, Eddie Hayes on lead guitar, Gary Scheid on lead and rhythm guitar. You had Parliament members like Malia Franklin and Debbie White, which was they were uncredited and stuff too. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5.
definitely one of my favorites. I love the album cover. Yeah, they don't make covers like that anymore. That was dope. Nappy Dugout, dope funky instrumental track. Let's Make It Last. I love the guitars on that. Cosmic Slop. Cosmic Slop. They actually talked about this album in the documentary also,
Yeah,
and making like the title track. And I love that funky groove they have on that and the bass line and yeah, definitely a 5 mic classic for me. One of the best. You brought up Redman. He also had a song called Cosmic Slop on There's a Dark Side.
yeah,
So yeah, one of my favorite tracks on that album too. So
definitely. All right. Next we got is 1974's "Standing on the Verge of Getting It On and Getting It On." People, what you doing? That's my fucking shit, man.
mhm,
Man, if there was two musicians that was killing it with this album, definitely motherfucking Ray Davis and Eddie Hazel and shit, man. I feel like Ray Davis's voice definitely carried a lot of these tracks.
right.
Definitely felt like Eddie Hazel, him returning on Funkadelic and stuff like that. He definitely had a hand on a lot of the songwriting
Mhm,
and stuff too. But it definitely it pretty much he had to actually label it as Grace Cook and stuff like that too. And like his wife, Hazel's wife, was kind of like arguing about the publishing rights as well
right.
when it came to this album. But regarding the album, man, this whole album definitely one of my favorites from Funkadelic. Like I'll Stay, I love that track.
Love
Of
that.
course, the title track alone, that's an iconic Funkadelic P-Funk song. Sexy Ways is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? It was around this time too. You kind of saw the Funkadelic side of things being a little bit more playful and stuff like that. Because them earlier Funkadelic albums was like weird as fuck, but especially with the introduction of Bootsy Collins and the songwriting, they kind of like grounded it. Well, not grounded it, but eased it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So this is a 5 mic masterpiece for me.
Yeah, this was dope. Definitely like this album too. Sexy Ways, real funky, nice bass line. That song it sounded like Curtis Mayfield was singing the vocals, like because he had like the high pitched falsetto.
Yes,
It sounded
yes,
like Curtis Mayfield on that. That was a dope track. Red Hot Mama, love the guitars on that, and we got the chorus right on Red Hot Mama Girl. You sure look good to me. Love that track. I'll Stay, like you mentioned. That was also sampled by De La Soul for Millie pulled a pistol on Santa from the
I knew
first
that
album.
sounded familiar.
Yeah, that was on 3 Feet High and Rising. They sampled that. Love that the bass line, the bluesy guitars on that. Definitely, I'm gonna give this 4.5 mics. One of my favorites.
Yes, yes. Dee 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 dee. Hey, Smoofus, tell me something good. Let's take it to the stage, sucker. Have no fear. McFunk is here. Everybody's funky but don't know how. They should have seen the bull when it funked the cow. Funked it so hard it starts sudden smoke. Let's get in the bed. We can funk like folks laughing at ya. Ha ha. Yeah. All right, I gotta go to the chorus. Sitting
Okay.
in the woods upon a log, finger on the trigger, my eyes on a hawk, and I sat back talking about you, the Godfather, laughing at your godmother. Woo! Son, son. before I even get started on this album right here, before I even get started, let's take it to the stage. This came out in 1975, man. Very underrated album from Funkadelic. I don't hear a lot of P
Mm-hmm.
Funk fans talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was just doing the title track where he was throwing shots at a lot of motherfuckers like James Brown, called him the
Mm-hmm.
Godfather, sliding the
Right.
family stone, slicking the family prick, cooling the gang, fooling the gang. He called Rufus Sloofus, you know, because he liked to throw shots at other motherfuckers who
Right.
were doing funk at that same time. Because he thought they thought that they were the funkiest group. Oh, Earth, Hot Air, and No Fire.
Wow. It's
Even though
crazy.
that year Earth, Wind, and Fire kind of blew P Funk with the That's the Way of the World album and Gratitude, but I want to leave my mouth shut on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, that title track, Let's Take It to the Stage. I love that track. No
Mm-hmm.
head, no backstage pass. I mean, be my
I love that title.
same. Be My Beach. I love that. You can definitely feel the
Mm-hmm.
Bootsy Collins all over that track.
Yep.
Um, Baby, I Owe You Something Good. I love that one right there too. I mean, this whole fucking album, man, they were just talking mad shit on this album.
Yeah.
This is the playfulness of funkadelic easing and shit like that, because it has a little bit of it kind of reminds me a little bit of Mothership Connection in some parts as well too, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a five mic masterpiece.
Yeah, this is dope. I love the production on this, the songs. Get off your ass and jam. Like you said, no head, no backstage pass. Be my beach. Definitely love the production and the singing on here, and the album cover was dope as hell. And I'm gonna give it 4.5.
Yes, yes,
Solid album.
yes, yeah, yeah. That album cover, man, that shit was dope. I fuck with
Yeah,
it.
with like the skeleton and all that.
Yeah, and y'all should, and then, like I mentioned last week, y'all should know that a lot of James Brown members went to the P Funk and stuff like that. And I think there was almost a fight between James Brown and George Clinton, but I'm gonna save that for another day. Then 1976, we got Tales of Kid Funkadelic. This album came out, you know what I'm saying? This was like the last album they did on Westbound Records before going over to Warner Brothers. This was again a very slept on album, if you ask me. The song "Let's Take It to the People," all my Tribe fans, y'all should know about that track. They did that for Everything Is Fair.
Yep.
I love Butt to Butt Rescue Citation. I love that one. I love Take Your Dead Ass Home. That was very dope too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, pretty underrated. I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
Definitely like this album. Take your dead ass home. If you ain't gonna get it on, take your dead ass home. You got the girls singing on the chorus. That was dope. Like you said, everything is fair. Tribe sampled that. Always love that track. Let's take it to the people. It was a short track, it's about like a minute and 49 seconds, but still love the beat on that, the synthesizers, the guitars on that track. I'm never gonna tell it. Another funky track, nice bass line, nice beat. I'm gonna give this 5 mics. Really like this album.
Yes. All right. Next album we got is Hardcore Jollies. This one was the first one on Warner Brothers Records and stuff like that. And this was actually the last P Funk album where it had the original Parliaments, Bugsy Haskins, Carly Simon, and Grady Thomas and stuff like that. Which I'm gonna
Right.
get more to that later on in this review.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, this one right here, this one again was a more guitar heavy album and stuff like that. This one was pretty good. Not really among my favorites, if you ask me. But that's not saying a bad thing either, and shit like that. I kind of felt like they were still trying to find their sound, especially like them going over to Warner Brothers and stuff like that too.
Right.
So yeah, this one I'm gonna give this a 4 mics.
This was dope. I like a couple of songs on here. Soulmate, banging track, nice bass line and the guitars. You scared the loving out of me. Had like that real creepy melody, and it was real moody. The bass line, and that was almost like a horrorcore track. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely enjoyed that. Yeah, it's a dope album. I'll give it like 3 mics. You know.
Definitely. Yeah, I know a lot of diehard P Funk fans love that album and shit like that. So
Yeah.
I try to keep respectable. All right. Now, the Magnum Opus, in my personal opinion, the first P Funk album to introduce, I mean, not introduce, but reintroduce Junie Morrison, which you guys should definitely know. He's coming from the Ohio Players. And what, even though I've talked about the Ohio Players in the past, one of my biggest gripes about those reviews, I didn't really talk a lot about Junie Morrison because
Mm-hmm.
he left pretty much in the when they were really going to Mercury Records and stuff like that. So it's nice to really talk about Junie Morrison on this one, which is 1978's One Nation Under a Groove. Yeah, my favorite Funkadelic album. I'm not even gonna hold you. And the beginning of their best era, in my opinion, like from '78 to '81. This is actually their most commercially successful album as well too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have songs like the title track, "One Nation Under a
Under a
Groove." I mean,
groove.
a lot of motherfuckers
Mm-hmm.
sampled that.
Yep.
But my favorite track is "Into You
Into
Now."
you now. We did a review on this. Remember?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
We did a
That
dope
was
ass.
my favorite song on the record in
Yeah,
the album.
I think that was all our favorite tracks, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, such a beautiful track, man.
Definitely.
Um, Groove Allegiance, that was another
That
dope
was
one
dope.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was definitely a good mixture between like the more danceable funkadelic and then the more rock side of funkadelic as well. You know what I'm saying? The doo song, the pro mental
Shit
shit
back
back
psychosis.
psychosis,
Yeah.
yes. Doo chasers. Love that track as
Mm-hmm.
well. All my Scarface fans, y'all should know about that track as well too.
Right.
So yeah, man, Junie Morrison did into this fucking group. That was definitely it. Definitely set it upon and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because he definitely made Funkadelic more accessible because they were like weird as fuck from a lot of people and shit too.
Right.
And even around this time too, the Parliament side of things was like going downhill and shit. So it's nice that the Funkadelic side came and this is like a 5 mic masterpiece.
I love it. Definitely 5 mic classic. A lot of legendary songs on here. One Nation Under a Groove. Into You. Groove Allegiance. Memento Shit Back Psychosis. Definitely. I mean, to me, it's their best album, but they have more than one. But I love it. I definitely think it's 5 mics.
Definitely. Now, 1 year later, they came out with probably my second favorite album. Well, third favorite album because I'm not going to go against Maggot Brain. Uncle Jam Wants You. This album to me, again, another dope album right here and shit too.
Right.
You know, you had fucking pretty much a lot of motherfuckers on this album. You know, Glenn Goins was on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one of the most interesting additions was Felipe Wayne, from the Spinners, because you guys should
Mm-hmm.
know he got kicked out the Spinners around this time too, because well, he didn't get kicked out, he left because he felt like they were moving too slow, and then there was like a lot of issues. He basically got the David Ruffin syndrome, for what I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
and he pretty much went to P Funk because you guys should also know that he was down with P Funk from growing up. He knew like Bootsy and George Clinton growing up and stuff like that. So he pretty much was like a background vocalist and stuff too. So he can definitely hear him on not just Knee Deep, which love
Mm-hmm.
that song right there. Everybody sample that track.
Yep.
I feel like the best sample, in my opinion, was De La Soul, Be Myself and I.
Definitely.
Yes, I mean over hella West Coast G Funk artists. Yes, I feel like they did the sample justice. Um, Freak of the Week. I love that track. All my Too Short fans, y'all should know about that one right there. You know what I'm saying? Holly Wants to Go to California was dope. Field Maneuvers was pretty good too. Like this was like a pretty much like a more it was like the sister album to America Eats the Young, if
Yep.
that makes sense. So I'm gonna give this another 5 mics.
Great album. Love a lot of the songs, not just Knee Deep, like we mentioned. Classic record. You know, there's the long version for that, and there's a short version.
Yes.
Um, yeah, De La Soul. They made a that was like their first big hit, and I think Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince used it too. A lot of people use that joint. Freak of the Week, nice bass line, nice beat. You know, I like the horn arrangements on that song. It's definitely a great album. I'm gonna give it 5 mics. So yeah, definitely a solid album.
Yeah, most definitely a very solid album. But this is also what many people consider the beginning of the end. Give me 1 second. What many people kind of consider the beginning of the end because a lot of personnel issues, money issues started coming into play. And this is where we get into the next album, Connections and Disconnections. This was this now technically this is an album with the original Parliaments, Funky Haskins, Calvin Simon, and Grady Thomas, which they did this album under the whole Funkadelic name and stuff like that too. So just to clear up the confusion, this album they did this, after George Clinton was kind of like putting them to the sidelines in terms of sidelines in favor of the other more Funkadelic members like Bootsy and then Glenn Goins and Bernie Worrell and so on and so on. So they didn't. What happened was they didn't sign the backstage management contract that would which if they would have signed that contract, they would have released all the rights to the names of Parliament and Funkadelic. So they definitely formed their own band and they called themselves Funkadelic, and that's when they came up with this album as well too. Honestly, love this fucking record. This one
Hmm.
is a very underrated. I feel like a lot of diehard P Funk fans they want to talk so much shit because George Clinton is not on this album, but a lot of other P Funk fans they fuck with this album and shit too because you gotta remember funk music in the early '80s was in a transitional period at that time too because we were recovering from disco. Niggas were like trying to find a new thing. Prince was coming out. The whole like punk funk music of Rick James, Prince, Gap Band was coming out as well too. So these guys they definitely added their own flavor to this one right here. You have songs like The Witch, which that was pretty much they were throwing shots at George Clinton with that one.
Right.
I love the intro to Funk Lords. Definitely drew me in. The title track was pretty good too. Who's a Funkadelic, which they performed that one and Connection and Disconnections on Soul Train and shit too. So this is definitely a 4.5 out of 5. Very underrated album and shit too. Oh
It
yeah,
was
cute. Zapp and Roger. Yeah, I forgot about them.
it was cool. I didn't really like it like the other ones though. I felt like the sound was already changing
Yeah.
at that point, and you can tell when an artist has been around for like a decade or so, and then they try to like update their sound for the times or whatever. You know what I mean? But I liked some songs. You Like It Too was dope. Come Back, Call the Doctor was probably my favorite on this album. Who's a Funkadelic, so I'll probably give like maybe 3 mics.
Gotcha. All right. Now back to the Funkadelic side of things. We got the Electric Spanking of the War Babies. This came out in 1981. This is pretty much originally this was supposed to have been a double album, but he was having a lot of problems with Warner Brothers at this time too. I
Who
talked
was
about
it?
a lot of this during the whole George Clinton versus Zapp and Roger beef
Mm,
episode and stuff like that. But long story short, they had an issue over the album cover because the original album cover was like a picture of a dick, pretty much, but it was like well, not like it was a dick and a naked woman inside this dick, but it was like a spaceship. It looked like a dick and stuff like that too.
yeah.
So they wanted to Warner Brothers revise the album cover by having like this green sketch overshadowing the dick and stuff like that. And so pretty much George Clinton was not fucking with it and stuff like that too. And also he was also close to signing he was working with Roger Trout, was Zapp and Roger
Mm-hmm.
and stuff too, because their first album was mostly produced by like Bootsy Collins and shit too, and he was
Right.
so close to signing to Uncle Jim Records, but with a lot of business shit going downhill for like George Clinton and stuff like that too, Roger Troutman kind of bounced. But it's funny because like you had Roger Troutman on this album, Sly Stone. He did a lot of instruments on this album as well too, because he was also working with George Clinton around this time, and the next year they did Sly Stone's last album. The
Mm-hmm.
next year and stuff like that from '82. So this was definitely an interesting album and stuff. You had motherfuckers like Junie Morrison still on this run. Michael Hampton. You had Cynthia Robinson, Bootsy Collins. Like, yeah, like the Sly and the Family Stone and the P Funk and the Zapp and Roger all in one album. That's dope as fuck. So this album to me was very underrated. It's pretty much redid songs that they've done in the past, but they redid it for this album and stuff. Like the song "Oh I," which spoiler alert, that's actually my favorite track off this album. That
Mine
"Oh
too.
I
Yeah.
Oh," you said that's your favorite too?
Yeah, I like the pianos on that.
Yeah.
That was dope.
The original version when it was under the Parliament name,
Mm.
I'm gonna send that shit to you. That one was
Okay.
more dope and shit too.
Nice.
Um, Funk Gets Stronger, which you can definitely hear Sly Stone harmonizing on that one too. Shockwaves is pretty good. The title track alone, I love that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is a very underrated album. I'm kind of mad that it's not on like Spotify and shit
Mm-hmm.
like that too. But I gotta even the physical is kind of hard to come by and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5. This
I like it.
definitely
This. Yeah.
this definitely is an underrated P Funk album people should look into.
Definitely a dope album. OY like we mentioned, Electric Keys is dope. Really like that track, real funky, nice beat. Um, I'm gonna give it like a four. I'll give it a four.
Okay.
I definitely think out of like the more like recent ones, I like this one the most.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah. So when you say like the recent ones,
like I mean like see like when we get to like who's a funkadelic, and then this
yeah,
one, by the way of the drum and toys. To me, they sound started. It didn't have like the same type of funk. Like they were experimenting more with different sounds for those albums.
yeah. We'll definitely get into those later albums and shit because some of them, I know, like the by the way of the drum, the shelf and shit like that. Which we'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, man. I like funk music was changing. Like disco,
Yeah,
definitely. Like niggas didn't know what to do next and shit like that. That's why the whole punk funk shit happened.
right.
CW said Electric Spanking is a much better album than Trump. I highly agree with you on that, CW, because Trump did pull that shit and I didn't care for the album too much. It was okay, but you can tell they were running out of ideas and stuff.
Yeah,
And yeah, he definitely brought back Sly Stone, but at the same time too, he couldn't really get Sly Stone off of drugs and shit like that too. So he ended up falling back into addiction, hanging out with Sly and shit too. And
he's still on drugs, right? He's like homeless and he's on drugs.
who Sly?
Yeah, they said like he's living from his van, and there's
Yeah,
like a family that's like taking care of him.
yeah, but he's not on drugs no more and
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Yeah. Kai said, "What about Magabrain?" Yeah, we talked about
Yeah,
Magabrain earlier.
Vagabond is
I gave
dope.
it 5 mics and shit.
Great album. I have
Yeah.
it, but I just can't find it. So
All right. So now we're gonna get into the By the Way of the Drum. So this is an interesting album because it was recorded. It was like recorded between '83 and '85 and stuff like that. But it was like it got shelved and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
This one was okay. I didn't really care too much for this one. Like here,
yeah.
um, it had a
And
cover. You said
I was
what?
gonna say, why is there different versions of the title track on the album? Because you got
I
like a bass instrumental, and you got like the extended version and the radio mix, and
that's what they did with a lot of albums back at that time and shit.
okay,
Like you had to have the bass mix, the club mix, the a cappella mix and shit. Like you have to have those songs and shit.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna give that one probably like a four mics and shit.
I didn't like this album. I'm not. I didn't like. Did not like it. It just sound. It sounded like they sounded different. It didn't sound like Parliament. It just sounded like they were trying to like experiment for the year that it came out. It got shelved also. So that's another thing.
Yeah,
But it didn't sound like classic P Funk to me.
it did it.
You know. When I'm hearing joints like Nosebleed and Jugular, some Fresh Delic, I'm like, this is not P Funk, man. This is something else.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, why did it get shelved anyway?
I'm guessing it's part of the whole legal issues that they're
Oh,
facing because a lot of members was also leaving at that time too.
right.
A lot of members were suing him at that time too. So
And they lost. That they talked about that in the documentary. They lost those cases.
yeah. So now we're gonna get into Toys. This is another album with unreleased music. It was supposed to have been released in 2002, but they pushed it back. Ended up being released in 2008. Just like unreleased shit. It had a fucking like karaoke version of Wars of Armageddon. I ain't care too much for this one.
I like two tracks on here. I like the first one, Vampy Funky Bernie. That was like a dope instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Stink Finger. That sounded like classic P Funk. The beat was dope. The guitars on it. It sounded like there was like a choir singing on like the background vocals, and that
Yeah,
that one I like. I like those two songs from the album, but I didn't care for the whole album though.
yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Definitely. And the last Funkadelic album we got is First Y'all Gotta Shake the Gate. This came out in 2014 and whatnot. Honestly, I didn't even remember hearing about this album and shit like that. Like, 'cause I remember the promotional the Parliament album, the Medicaid album, but this one, I was just like, damn, I forgot about this one. It
Right.
was 3 disc, 33 songs and shit. Not everything was like hot in my opinion. I mean, yes, songs like I like the Nas with Sly Stone and stuff like that. That was pretty stupid. Radio Friendly was okay. Ain't that funkin' kind of hard on you? I mean, I'm gonna give this like a 3.5.
I didn't like it. This is like a triple album and
Yeah,
way too many songs on here.
I thought they were
And
Chris Brown with this one.
yeah, and it was like nah, I didn't care for this album at all. You know.
Understandable. And then now concluding the whole Funkadelic side of things. Yeah, this one, I thought it was gonna be much longer, honestly, but
Yeah.
definitely did our thing on this one. I can't wait till we talk about Boosie's Rubber Band next week.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the one I really can't wait to talk about. Um, okay, I'm gonna definitely stay on the chat for a good amount, probably to about 1:30 ish, because gotta save up our minutes and shit. Antoine said, I think the industry don't want Parliament Funkadelic to continue to the next generation in the 80s. Well, you really think so? Because think about it. I mean, Zap pretty much was P Funk, but they broke out of that chain once George Clinton's legal issues fell through. I mean, you had Digital Underground,
Hmm.
which that was another. Shock G was George Clinton's nephew and shit, and they carried out that legacy. Hell, George Clinton had a renewed popularity in years, with G Funk and hip hop and shit too. So,
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I hear your point, but I just gotta say my 2 cents.
Even now, like when they touring now, they have their offspring is in the group. Like George Clinton's kids are in the group with him.
Yeah,
His daughters, his sons, they all playing in the group. His daughter is like one of the singers.
right. Which is why he should have gotten a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on
Well,
that.
you got Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so that's even better.
That's true. That's true. Um, After Atomic Dog, George Clinton wasn't the same after that. Mm. We'll talk about computer games in 2 weeks. I'll give my thoughts on that.
Yeah, yeah.
They,
His grandkids. I mean, is in the group with him. His grandsons and his granddaughters and all that.
that's dope.
Yeah, like when they came here last summer, they had played. They did a free show last summer, and they showed. I actually watched the concert on YouTube, and they showed. I think he performed for like 3 hours, and this man is like 80 years old, and he performed longer than a lot of the other artists on the bill. And his grandkids is a part of the group now, so they still continuing that legacy. I think they trying to update it because there's a part in the show where they'll go from like the classic sound, and then they'll try to update it with like maybe like some trap, maybe like some trap funk or whatever. So they're trying to update it where a lot of the young generation now can get hip to who P Funk is now. So
That's true.
that's how you got to do it.
Was funk more popular in the West Coast? Sam asked. Uh,
I don't think it's a regional thing. I mean, growing up here in New York, like I had uncles that had their records. My mom went to see them, back when he was, had like the mothership, on tour with them, and she went to see them, and she had their records. And I don't think it's a regional thing. I think everybody loved them.
he did appear on hip hop tracks like One Nation in the Group and Can't See Me. Q said,
Like if you look at the artists like Redman and the Hit Squad, they sample they his stuff, and Dre and Cube and them. So it's all coast that everybody loved them. I don't think it's a regional thing at all.
right. Even some of the '90s material. I know he did a song with Ice Cube, "Paint the White House Black" or some shit.
Yep.
I know
I
he
remember
did,
that.
he performed on Arsenio in '93.
Hmm.
Rufus in the heart.
Yeah,
Remember that
D Light.
song?
Yeah, D Light. Yeah,
That's my shit.
definitely. I don't know if they'll let us play his stuff on here.
So what?
Ronnie said we should do a beat battle of P Funk.
Mm.
I don't know if they'll let us play his stuff. They
I
might
mean, we
flag
did
us
it.
for that.
Then we do a beat battle of Prince.
Yeah, but they flagged that.
True. I'm still trying to get them copyright.
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh I I oh. I was listening to Funkadelic like all afternoon and shit like that. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
they have bangers after bangers and shit.
Hmm. I like that collaboration he did with Pac on the "Can't See Me" joint.
Dope.
That shit is fire on All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, I tried that, Kaya, but YouTube still be on that bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think I've never seen the battles. I don't think they're ever gonna let us see it. Yep. Yeah. He's still getting residual checks from everybody sampling his music. Yeah, all of those are classic, man. My mom grew up on all that. You know, BT Express, Brass and Funk Construction, D Train, all that, all those funk bands, SOS Band,
Ohio players.
yeah, how your players, yeah.
Ronnie said Parliament Bop going flashlight. Flashlight.
I love Bop Gun more. The Flashlight, I heard Flashlight so much that there was one point that it was like in commercials and stuff.
Right.
Bop Gun, just like that, I love it. And then I like the way that Cube sampled it, and he had Clinton on the song with him. He had George
Oh
on there with
yeah.
him. You know,
Lethal injection, boy.
yeah,
And mind you, one of the first West people talk so much shit about lethal injection, but he was one of the first West Coast artists to have George Clinton on the song with him and shit.
right. Yeah, yeah. Slave, Lakeside, Mandrill. I could go on and on, man. All of those funk bands.
For real.
Frankie Belly.
Confunction.
Yeah, Frankie Belly and Maze.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, man.
Funk. Hell. Tower of Power.
Mm-hmm. Tower
Um,
Power.
what was that one funk group? That one funk group. Damn. I can't think right now, but fuck it.
All of them.
Cameo, yeah, Ronnie, yeah,
Definitely.
they were dope too.
Yeah,
But
they
early Cameo, early.
Sly Stone, definitely.
Oh, the Barcade. That's who I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm. The Barcades.
Anticipation. Yeah, man, funk music is my shit.
Yep. More the Booty Affair. Hey, that was a dope album.
What was a dope album?
More the Booty Affair.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
One Nation under. Have you ever seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers performance they did on the VMAs when George Clinton came out?
What year was that?
92.
I swear, I don't even remember that one. I might have saw it. I mean, I didn't miss the VMAs at that point, so I might have saw it, and I just didn't remember that one.
Yeah, man. They did give. They started off with "Give It Away," then George Clinton came out.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, Red Hot Chili Peppers got me into Funkadelic. I'm not mad about that.
Dope. One of the best.
Oh yeah, I need some more albums from them. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, same. Yep.
Yeah, I'll make some collard greens tomorrow. Fuck that. Mhm. Like I don't even have enough chicken broth like I thought I did. Fuck. Antoine said Mothership to this day is their biggest album. Yeah, on the Parliament side of things. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early Chili Peppers is great. I don't like. I mean, the stuff they coming out with now is like they just going through the motions, but they early shit is their best shit.
You talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah. I mean, could they drop the album? I think it was April or May. They dropped the album this year, but it's nothing like they classic shit.
Yeah, man. To me, their best period was 87 to 99.
Yeah,
But they didn't really
definitely.
start becoming trash until after Stadium Arcadian.
I agree. I agree. And I still was listening to those albums. It's just that It's not the same. They're not putting out the same classic material no more.
They're not.
You know, there's a lot of groups that's doing that though.
And I know didn't Dave Narok that Dave didn't he come back to the group and shit?
Dave Navarro,
Yeah.
did he? When was that?
Cause he left the group and he came. He always like to leave and come back and shit.
They had. It's like I know they had a guitarist that had left and then he came back like years later.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like after Californication, it was like I checked out. Like I still was listening to them, but they wasn't dropping classic shit like that after that.
Mm. I hear your point
John,
about
yeah, John Frusciante, yeah, I think he had left and then he
that.
came back like years later.
Yeah, that's his name, John
Yeah,
Frusciante.
yeah. He
That
ended up
that's
coming back.
because he left after Blood Sugar Sex Magic, and he didn't come back until
Hmm.
Californication or By the Way, one of them albums.
Yeah. How do you feel about Funkadelic inspiration on Silk Sonic? I think it's great. Silk Sonic, like
Again,
that Lakeside rendition they did was phenomenal. You know, there's not too many singers in this era that could pull that off, but Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak did it.
you
You
said
know,
Lakeside. What Lakeside on?
the what's the name of that joint they did? I forgot the name of that song right now, but they did a Lakeside rendition and like it's they added it later to like the recent copies of the album.
Oh wow.
So it's not on like the original copy. Like they re-released the album with like that bonus track.
Yeah, because I know they did a version of Confunction's Love Train and shit.
Love Train, not a Lakeside. The Love Train joint I'm talking about.
Ah, okay. I was
I
like,
mean, yeah, I mean that's how I think. Like I said, that's how I think you gotta introduce those funk groups to today's generation. You know what I'm saying? When you have like today's singers, like a Anderson .Paak and the Bruno Mars, and then they do a rendition, that's gonna bring their fans over to Confunction's music, and then they can be able to check out their stuff from back in the day.
I agree. I agree because yeah, because even Anderson's solo shit before that shit too was
Right.
he
Yeah.
definitely had that funk vibe.
Yeah. Bruno Mars too. Like he was inspired by a lot of that. A lot of James Brown and Michael and all that, and you know, they doing it the right way.
Yeah, because honestly, when it came to Bruno Mars, it took me a while to really get into his music. Because
Hmm.
when he came out, he was on that "Nothing on You," but then once his music got funkier, I
Right.
was like, okay, he's actually pretty good and shit.
Yeah. Like by Unorthodox Jukebox and the third album, that's when he really started to transition his music.
Right.
The first album was more pop.
Yeah.
But I loved all his albums. I've always been a fan of Bruno Mars. So
Understandable.
do y'all feel boozy roll? Do y'all feel boozy roll on their tracks is too much of? I don't understand the question. Is too much, or if you had a say, do you feel like they could go harder?
You talking about Lil Boosie or Boosie Collins? CW said Funkadelic's inspiration more in hip hop from '80s early Funkin' Paradise Shock G. Yes, rest in period. AOCW, if you haven't checked, we did a digital underground breakdown like literally before Shock G died.
Yep,
Literally.
yep,
That's crazy as fuck.
yep. That was dope. He might have passed away like a week later or something.
Right. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Maybe if I keep saying George Clinton needs a lifetime achievement award, maybe he'll finally get one and shit.
Right.
But now we have Diddy and shit. But okay. I feel Boosie roll on their tracks too much. You had to say what these look. I feel like Boosie on the bass was definitely utilized well. And if that's what you're asking,
Right. And the way that he introduced the group and the album, it was dope.
right?
Because he's really the one that came up with that name for the group. It was like when they asked him, like he came up with the name Silk Sonic.
That's true. People
So
forget that.
Yeah, so it's like, why not have him introduce the album?
I love that after last night. I think I'm
Mm,
in love with you. That's my shit
that
though.
was dope. Yeah, great album.
I can't wait till we talk about Boosie's rubber band next week.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was talking about, Little Boozy or Bootsy Collins. So I was like, who's that?
Yeah,
Little,
because Kaya, you spelled it like Lil Boo. That's why I was confused.
yeah,
Like, also, is she talking about Lil Boosie or
I was
Boosie
like,
Collins?
Boozy Roll, is that a new artist? Who's that?
Shout out to my homegirl Kaya and shit. You know, she goes to Central as well too.
Salute.
See these questions I like. I like these questions right here. Which Funkadelic song is underrated in your opinion? Standing on the verge of getting it on and getting it on. That's
That's a
that
good
jam
one.
right there. Check out the live performance they did in Houston. I think back in '76. You won't regret it.
Ray Sean was on that.
You said what?
We had Ray Sean on that breakdown with us. He said with Ray Sean. I'm like, I don't remember Ray Sean doing that with us.
Yeah, I don't think Ray Sean came on his channel though.
He came on here before, but I don't think it was for that breakdown.
Hmm. See, we've done so much shit in the past, man. Like when I say, like I said, I've been doing this since the 2013. I even think what solo reviews I've done too. So,
Right.
oh, my food's ready. Man. Maybe my Jamaican jerk pasta with some steak and some garlic bread and shit.
Nice.
Sam said hardcore jollies is underrated. Yeah, me and Sam were talking about that last night. Oh, CW, you fine though. You fine. Cause Sam said Boosie badass suck. Kai said, how dare you?
I like the that pro mental shit back psychosis joint.
Yes.
That joint is underrated.
Talking shit a mile a minute.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Shoot, man, I can't wait.
Is he really a producer though?
You said what?
Is he really considered a producer though? I mean, because he had other people doing shit for him.
He did produce.
He
Yeah.
produced on his
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
So why did he get like hire other people like in the band and all that then? If he was already producing.
Cause he wanted to school them, I guess, on
Right.
how his style was. You know, cause you know how some motherfuckers have understudies and shit too. Like Marley Marl had K Def and shit too, which K Def did most of the 14 shots in the Dome album and stuff too for
Right.
LL.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Marley Marl also had Large Professor as an under. Well, Paul, that was most Paul C. I'm gonna give that.
I had to look at his production credits because there was some joints that I thought he did and it was K Def that did it. But K
Yeah.
Def sounded like Marley Marl at one point.
You said what?
K Def sounded like Marley Marl at one point when he first started.
Oh yeah. Especially that
So
Lords on the Underground album and shit too.
yeah, right. Like there's certain tracks that he didn't do. It was K Def that did it. Even on the Youngsters album, there was some tracks he didn't do. Like it was K Def.
Right. And even with Strategy, the Intelligent Hoodlum,
Hmm.
you can tell which tracks Marley produced and which tracks Large Professor produced. Like the more
Right.
smoother melodic tracks, that
Yeah.
was Large P. But like Arrest the President, the harder drums and shit, that was Marley
Hmm.
Marl and shit.
Right.
But I don't know, but there's some differing credits as well too. But I'll get into that one day. Which we need to talk about that Tragedy second album though, Saga for
Yeah.
Hoodlum. I love
Yep.
that record. I was trying to get
Kaya
Trash on the channel, but he kept talking about Prodigy and shit on Drink Champ. So shit.
Kaya said she grew up on Boozy and Bootsy Collins.
Hey, I can't get mad at you about that. I like a little bit of Lil Boosie stuff. I'm not a Boosie badass fan. Like once he became Boosie bad, I was like, I'm good on that. I feel like he talks so much. I feel like he's known more for talking shit in interviews now, but
Yeah.
going to Vlad TV every 10 seconds and shit. I don't know what it is about motherfuckers that just go on Vlad TV and just unleash their fucking soul.
I don't know.
Like what
Mm.
do Vlad be having on these motherfuckers?
I feel like he's trying to get the juicy gossip from them. You know.
That's why I fuck with all the dialogue more and shit than Vlad TV.
Right.
I can't even watch Drink Champs because Nori talks 3 hours trying to ask a question that takes 30 seconds and shit.
Way too much, man. I can't watch him. He won't let
And,
them
and,
talk.
and Drink Champ he have is so dope. And I'm just like, Nori, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
There's no way. There's no reason why if you have Wu Tang on there, it should be a 3 hour interview.
That,
That's
bro,
ridiculous.
he had like Shine. I think the Shine interview was like 2 hours or some shit.
Right.
What Shine gotta be talking about? That's what 2 hours and shit.
Right. He had something that went like 4 hours long. Like what the fuck? Like let them talk already.
And then he was talking some mad shit about Prodigy one time. I think him and Tragedy were talking some shit about Prodigy and shit too.
Right.
It didn't really sit right with me.
I
Cause
mean, Prodigy said what he said in the book about him, and I agree with
exactly.
Prodigy. It's not like he was dropping classic material every time out. So
Well, see, Kaya, I get that, but then there's other ways you can really execute that. Like I hate interviewers that talk so fucking like one thing I'll give Vlad TV, he lets motherfuckers tell their story.
right.
Say what you want to say about Vlad, he lets motherfuckers tell their stories and shit. All the dialogue too. But loudmouth Nori, yeah, I remember that shit, dog. Yeah, New York, son, yeah. Like shut the fuck up.
Right.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. MC Crackhead Shan talk shit about Prodigy as well too. Like, but if Prodigy was alive, I didn't hear motherfuckers talking mad shit. Y'all wait till motherfucker dead and shit. That's when y'all motherfuckers wait to talk shit. Fuck out
Right.
of here with that bullshit.
Yep.
Fucking Nori, loudmouth. I'm gonna just drop another album. Drop another good album, Nori.
Right.
That's all I gotta fucking say.
Facts.
Shit. Ronnie said favorite Parliament Funkadelic live performance. Capitol Theater back in 1978. Yeah. But yo, try you know the story about George Clinton hating on Rick James and shit.
I think they mentioned that briefly in the documentary. That I think Rick James had beef with everybody, with Prince, with George Clinton. What's wrong with this dude?
No, but it was really on George. George Clinton thought that Rick James was stealing his style and shit.
Rick James thought the same thing about Prince. So you know,
What
man,
is all these fuck motherfuckers think that they all stealing his style? Niggas was saying that about Earth and Fire and shit.
right?
But do you really think Prince stole Rick James style?
No,
Thank
he
you.
don't. He don't. I don't. I never felt like he sounded like him. They both had their own style.
Now, personally, I feel like Rick James kind of was influenced by Prince, especially when we came to Glow and the flag and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Kaya said, "Do y'all watch No Jumper or the Barbershop podcast?" I think I follow. I think they follow me on Instagram, the Barbershop podcast. No Jumper. I've never watched it.
Honestly, I've heard of Barbershop. I just never heard of No Jumper.
I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times, like across my the YouTube feed, but I never watched it though.
All right. Okay, it's 1:32. I'm gonna stay on for like another 10 minutes and shit because y'all asking some really dope shit. Better vocalist, George Clinton or Rick James? Oh, Rick James for me, boy. Sam said Pac fans talk shit about Prodigy also when he died. No surprise there. Um, Tank got a podcast. It's called R&B Money, but he ain't got no money.
And
So
I don't listen to Tank, so I wouldn't watch it.
please, oh yeah.
No.
Didn't this nigga say some?
Yeah.
He said some crazy shit
Said
recently.
he liked his ass licked or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like,
Come
nigga,
on, man.
what is
Who's
up with
watching
like
that?
Jim Jones and Tank trying to say shit just for fucking clout these days? Like,
Jim Jones been saying the most stupidest shit ever. You want to battle Rakim? Yeah, okay.
Where's Rakim now, Lloyd Banks? Like, how you
Rock
going for the top of the chain?
and he and they both better artists than him. So
For real. Like, I'm motherfucking need to stop sleeping on Lloyd Banks like he a pushover and shit.
right,
I didn't motherfucking need to stop talking about Lloyd Banks and shit. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Jim Jones. He had some good music, but you're not messing with Rakim or Banks. Yeah. Dude thinks he's like lyrically better than Rakim. I'm like, yeah, you definitely smoking some good crack. I've never been a Tank fan. Never the kid for his music. Him or Tyrese. And they both were like in the same group, ironically.
Who y'all talking about?
Tank.
Ugh. Y'all still talking about Tank? Ugh. Man, we were just talking about P Funk and shit, man. Come on.
Never been a Tank fan.
He's one of those begging singers I just can't stand.
Keith Sweat did with the best,
Al Green did it the best.
and Al Green did it the best.
But yeah, but Keith Sweat definitely made begging an art form and shit.
Yeah.
I can't get with Jim Jones and Tank and the Bangers. It's a band.
I never heard of them.
Tank and the Bangers. What the
It still sound bad.
fuck?
Anything with Tank is not for me.
Yeah. Antoine Servage, do you like Barry White group Love Unlimited? I love Love Unlimited, Antoine. And we were just talking about Barry White too. That's
Yep.
crazy.
We can do some of his reviews and stuff.
Yeah, Barry White reviews on next week. Walking in
I'll
the rain with the one that I love.
I will listen to Taylor Swift before I listen to Tank.
Okay, I'm not gonna go that far.
I am. I've
I'm not.
already listened to one Taylor Swift album, so
I'm not. I'm not gonna
I
go
will
that.
listen to any Taylor Swift album over Tank. I think Tank is overrated.
I think both Tank and Taylor Swift are overrated in
Yeah,
their
well,
communities and shit. I'm just being real.
give me Taylor Swift.
Jesus Christ. You'll take someone who talks about man after man after man over a begging. Okay, oh
Yep.
shit. I'd
Right
rather
here.
listen to
She
MC Hammer
she
over
she got
Taylor.
one album that I like compared to any shit from Tank.
Damn. Okay, that's on you, brother. That's on you, boy. I'd rather listen to fucking Pink than any of them motherfuckers. I like Pink.
Hey, I like Pink. So
Look,
give me any of her
hold up.
albums. Funhouse or huh?
Her R&B album. Scratch that. The first Pink album.
Nah, I didn't like that one. Cause she's not
Right.
R&B. She's not R&B.
That's why I said the first album where they were trying to market her as R&B.
Yeah. But even with that album, I didn't like a lot of the songs on that album though. But give me anything after that. Funhouse, Try This, any of those albums.
Yeah, Funhouse is a classic. I don't care what no one
Yeah.
says. See y'all.
Misunderstood was a great album too.
So you can go from Parliament and Funkadelic to Rick James to Pink and shit
The Pink,
without.
right. Are you back? What up, brother CW?
What up, CW? Ray Sean Pointer Sisters. Yes, Kai, if you listen to. I never got into the Pointer Sisters like that. Really.
I got one of their albums. Um, their '80s stuff was huge because it was like real. It was on commercials and stuff, like Jump. I think Jump was for the Olympics back then.
Oh God, I hate that.
Um,
Hate
the
that
the
song.
84 Olympics in Los Angeles. That was like the theme song. I
You
know
know,
you hate that song.
you know what song I hate from them the most?
Mm,
He's so fine,
that
meant to
was a huge
be.
hit.
Oh Jesus Christ,
Automatic was a huge hit for them.
that was a Prince cover too.
Yeah. So I know the '80s Pointer Sisters, the '80s stuff from them.
Yeah, man. the late '70s stuff when they cover that Bruce Springsteen song.
Hmm.
I'll deal with that, but the flashy '80s thriller s music, I was like, nah, I'm good on that.
Right.
Okay, Antoine, you know your shit about Barry White, okay? Yeah, I gotta get me some more post '70s Barry White stuff too. Them shits are hard to come by for me.
Right.
Tina Marie over Christina Aguilera. I love both artists, but yeah, Tina
Nah,
Marie definitely.
Tina got better albums.
Now wait a minute. Now Christina's albums are no slouch
Her
either.
early, I like her early stuff though. Not the shit she doing
Facts,
now. Her
facts,
early,
yeah.
like the double album was probably like the last good album she had.
To this day, Back in Black is one of the greatest albums ever.
That was a good album. Stripped is my favorite though.
Same. Well, actually, ooh, Stripped had the best songwriter, but Back in
Yeah,
Black was just
Back in Black was dope.
style wise. I'll give that and shit.
Yeah,
Oh, Kai, you bet your ass I listened to Phyllis Hyman.
yeah. We did an album review like last year we did it.
Yeah.
Year before last, yeah.
Phyllis Hyman, man, one of the greatest. I feel like Clive Davis had to fuck her career up. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
Hold on, I want to move my laptop upstairs, okay?
Uh-huh.
I like Denise Williams, Sam, but '70s Denise Williams, not the Let's Hear It for the Boy Denise Williams and shit. That's Try's favorite.
Right. The Lady T album was a classic. Ever had to fix my TV? Nah. TVs are cheap now. If you got issues with your TV, you just buy a new one.
Yeah, just go to a pawn shop.
The TV was going off and on. Is your house haunted? Why is your TV going off and on?
I don't have any Jeffrey Osborne albums. I think my dad got some.
I got his first two. But let's face it, he's known for like one song.
Who?
Jeffrey?
He got other solo songs
What?
too.
What's the one song people love from him?
The Woo Woo song.
Exactly. His signature hit.
But I'm gonna bring my speakers upstairs right quick.
Yeah. Unplug your flat. You have a flat screen. Unplug your TV and then plug it back in.
Okay. Nights like this, I wish I had an elevator.
We all do.
But yeah, Jeffrey Osborne, he had some hits in the 80s and shit. Just that woo woo songs everyone knows from him.
That's the song.
For real. Can you woo 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 woo? Can you woo 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 woo? To this day, I still don't know what he means by that, but fuck it.
I
You know,
always
hear me?
thought it was. I always thought it was a sex song. Like that. Like like girl making sex noises in bed or whatever.
Yeah, that could be it, man.
Yeah,
Shit. Can you woo woo woo?
Antoine said, "I love Third Degrees. Another great female group. My favorite song is When Will I See You Again. Amazing song."
I love the third degrees too. Okay.
You kind of burnt out. I ain't hear that song in decades, man.
For real, I can never get burnt out from woo woo.
What are you playing it every day?
Heck, even I don't play woo woo every day. Give me love ballad over woo. Oh, I agree with you on Ronnie. Love ballad is my shit. Love ballad, boy. Back in love again. Where did we go wrong? That's my shit too.
Didn't he do that American Tail song? Him
What
and
American Tail?
Linda Ronstadt, Jeffrey Osborne.
I want to say he did. I'm
I
not
think he
the
did
biggest
that.
Linda Ronstadt fan like that, so
Yeah, that was a huge hit for that Disney film.
Linda Ronstadt always doing songs with niggas and shit. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just feel that her biggest hits are songs with black people.
I think Alexander O'Neal, yeah, definitely like his stuff.
Alexander's my dude. That
Hmm.
Hearsay album was my favorite.
Hmm.
But I feel like he kind of fucked his career over and shit.
He did, yo. He looked like a crackhead now.
Motherfucker still ain't got no teeth and shit. Okay, I'm gonna stay on for like another 10 minutes. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat for a quick second.
If You Were Here Tonight is my jam.
Love that
Uh,
song.
all True Man. That was another banger.
I
The
love She's a Fake,
She's a
baby.
Fake. Yep. The joint he did with Sherelle Saturday.
Daddy. Well, which one? Because he did a lot of shit.
The Saturday joint.
Ah, oh. CW said, "Do you dig Charlie Wilson solo stuff? His singing just got better." I like Charlie Wilson solo stuff.
I like some of the songs. I haven't like listened to like a lot of those solo albums though.
Right.
I, I basically checked out after '82, but everything after '82 to me was crap from the Gap Band. So
I like that song.
after the four album, it was like nah, I'm not fucking with them.
I highly disagree with that because I feel like 6 and 7
Yeah,
had some joints and shit.
not like 3 and 4 though. 3 and 4 is their
You
best
know
albums
what?
to me.
Let me show you. See, you're gonna be mad at me for this one. Hold on.
Okay,
I was even gonna show you this shit, but you know what?
you was gonna save that for the collection vid?
Yeah.
Wow,
Actually, yeah. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I just can't wait
yeah,
for
man.
July 3rd. Shit.
That's way too long. Change the date.
Well, I will, but I have some more stuff that's coming
Mm,
next week, and
okay,
I still have to get Eric his album and stuff too.
yeah.
Damn, I should have said June or some shit, but fucking car alternator wanted to fuck up on me and shit.
Right.
Mm. Do you like the emotions? Hell yeah, I love the emotions,
Yeah,
buddy.
they dope.
Since we're talking about girl groups and shit, I love Martha and the Vandellas, the Ronettes. What y'all know about them?
Hmm. Hmm. Taste the honey.
They're alright. They're alright.
You didn't care for them?
I like the guitar player.
Yeah.
But that Sukiyaki song,
Hmm.
fire. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but still,
Coco got COVID. Wow.
she'll be fine.
And was it like her birthday like 2 days ago?
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Yo, I actually saw Mariah Carey's Emotions in stores. I'm trying to
Mm.
get that shit though,
Why you didn't get it?
cause I didn't get paid yet on
Oh,
my
oh.
job.
How much is it? How much is
Like
it?
$7.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it this weekend because there was
Yeah,
a couple Mariah Carey albums I need to get.
that was a good album.
To me, the most underrated album from the '90s, in my opinion. Yo,
Definitely.
Kaya, do you like the Glitter soundtrack? I don't know if you're still watching. Cause that
Nope.
I'm sick and tired of everyone disrespecting Glitter and shit.
Because it
I'm
wasn't
really
good. That's
the soundtrack. The
it wasn't
soundtrack.
good.
The
It wasn't
soundtrack was
good.
fire.
The movie was whack. The soundtrack was whack. That's why
No,
nobody talks about it.
okay. I haven't seen the movie, but the soundtrack was fire.
You don't want to see the movie. Trust me. The movie was Gabaggio.
Come on, that soundtrack. That was Mariah at her funkiest and shit.
That movie was not good. And I saw that shit and I was like, yo, I can't believe Mariah Carey did this movie.
Y'all need to leave Mariah alone and shit. You know Mariah been through Nick Cannon and Tommy Mottola and shit. Meanwhile, Nick Cannon has having his 30-year child at the moment and shit. Which I have to say, I hate motherfuckers that just make babies just to make babies and shit.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's doing and shit. But people want to say, oh, well, he lost his child and shit like that. No, fuck that shit, nigga.
He lost one child. He got like 11 more.
That's what I'm saying.
He's good.
That's what I'm saying. And I bet she didn't even remember that child he lost. I bet she didn't remember the name of that child he lost and shit.
Like what's your name again?
I know that's a fucked up thing to say, but that's what you have when you have fucking around with motherfuckers and shit, yo.
Yeah, Daydream is way better.
Oh yeah, Daydream is my favorite album from Mariah, but Glitter's my third favorite.
I can't be. And yo, when we did that Mariah discussion, I don't even think you brought up that soundtrack.
I didn't have the soundtrack yet.
Oh, you didn't have it. Oh,
No.
thank God you didn't bring it up then.
I got the soundtrack last year.
So all of a sudden now you want to bring up the Glitter soundtrack.
No, I've always talked about Glitter.
Really
It's just that was one of the later Mariah albums I've heard.
Right.
Because everyone kept saying, "Oh, you don't want to listen to that," but shout out to my homeboy Jermaine and so we were listening to that. I was like, "Yo, the soundtrack is dope," but I can like the soundtrack, but the movie is shit. I can do that shit. And then there's some good movies with some bad soundtracks too. So
And there's some good soundtracks with bad movies.
And then there's some bad movies with some bad soundtracks. So
Right.
So if I want to listen to fucking Mariah Carey, I want to listen to Mariah Carey and shit.
Yeah. I'm just now noticing that. I'm like, we did the Mariah Carey breakdown like 4 years ago. You didn't mention Glitter back then.
Yes, I did.
I don't remember talking about that. I know we talked about Charm Bracelet and all that other shit.
We talked.
I don't remember talking about Glitter.
We talked about Glitter.
I know, and I said back then I ain't like it.
Yeah, you said back then you didn't like it.
I was like,
At that time, I heard Glitter.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Glitter at that time and shit, and I said I fuck with it.
Wow.
That was one of Mariah Carey's best vocally albums and shit.
Really?
Yes.
Best vocally albums?
One of her best vocal
compared to the self-titled and Emotions and Daydream.
It's Mariah
Carey. Butterfly.
Talking about, yeah. She had at least 5 better vocal albums. That's one of her best vocal albums and shit.
I think Rainbow was better.
Rainbow underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna get mad at you for that. I feel like Glitter is better than Charm Bracelet.
No, I like Charm Bracelet better. And Charm Bracelet wasn't a big album for Allah, but the songs to me were better on that album.
Mm.
And she had
I just,
everybody on there. And she had
I'm,
like a joint. She had a joint on there with like West Side Connection
yeah,
and
she was,
Cameron and
yeah.
Jesus Christ. She was working with everybody. She didn't say no to nobody. You could have been like fucking Soldier Boy. She would have said yes. Let me do a song with him.
She probably did do a song with Soulja Boy.
You know.
You know, Soulja Boy, I'm the first rapper to rap with, right? Yeah.
She didn't say no to nobody, yo. You could have been a MySpace rapper. She'd have been like, yeah, let me do a song with you.
Mm. Mm. Y'all remember the '60s pop group, Mamas and the Papas? Not a big fan of them.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of them. I remember that group.
They were just some two fat ladies. One of them died from a ham sandwich or some shit.
Yeah. Like
That's
she
not
choked on the sandwich.
that's not funny.
Well, I mean, they say Prodigy choked on the egg. I still don't believe that, but
I don't believe that shit either.
yeah.
But it was I was watching a YouTube video and motherfucker were roasting Mamas and Papas and shit. That's why I was laughing.
Right.
Sam, why you asking me if ODB smashed Mariah Carey? I don't know. Shit.
That was a rumor.
Q said people might get mad if Glitter is one of the most underrated albums. Have you even heard the album, Q?
No.
Have you
No.
even heard the album?
No,
Like
nobody's saying that.
name three songs.
Her fan base not even saying that. I don't know what you talk about. No. They
I'm a
like
fan. But
totally forgot about Glitter. Only you will remember it.
yeah, because I'm best Ohio Players albums. Honey versus Skin Tight. Honey.
I like Skin Tight more, man. Skin Tight was fire. I love
I
both
can't.
of those album covers too.
Yeah, I can't get mad about that.
Yeah.
Skin Tight really opened the mold and shit like that.
Yep.
Cause those Westbound albums was like more underground and shit.
Right.
Yeah, don't mind me and shit like that.
You heard it on YouTube? He asked you to name 3 songs though. I can't name one because I don't. I remember that shit she did with Ludacris and Shauna. That's the only because that came out. There was a video for that, but other than that, I can't name you 2 others from that album.
I do. They come at the same time. Hey, I'm still waiting for the three songs and shit.
Yeah, he looking it up right now. When somebody asks you that, it should be like second nature. Like yo, like this is my 3 songs that I like.
We should definitely talk about some Young Jock. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh Lord.
I know you see it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Wow.
That's where hip hop is taking us, right? this is hip hop now,
Yeah.
right?
We've come a long way from Soul Sonic Force to Young Jock. Holy shit.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I mean, look at the little mo. I know you.
Mm. Wow. That's not even bars, yo. What is that? A nursery rhyme. A nursery rhyme. You know, what's this like fucking Mother Goose and shit?
Remember that one song he did called "A Coffee Shop"?
Yeah. Bad.
I was like, what the?
Remember.
Diddy was just signing anybody from the South and shit. He
Just
was sounding so.
anybody at that point. He tried to have his own Def Jam South, yo, because he had Boys in the Hood, and then he signed Young Jock, and then he got A-Ball and MJG. He was trying to do the South label thing,
Mm. Eeny, meeny,
you know.
miny, mo. I
UGK
mean,
turned
like,
him down and shit.
I know you see it. I know you. I forgot. I didn't even know UGA signed almost on the Bad Boy.
I didn't
I was
even
like,
know that. I didn't know that album.
yeah, Ronnie told me.
Favorite songs from Back in Business. Never. What's that joint? Never Seen Before, The Joint, Richter Scale, KIM. See, it should come like second nature to you when somebody asks you what's your favorite joints from an album.
Yeah, you pretty much named my favorite songs too. J
That's your favorite song?
97. J 97 was dope.
Oh yeah, James joint. Yeah, that was dope.
Alright.
I like the remix for Never Seen Before also. The remix was dope.
I think I've heard the remix once.
Yeah,
Okay. I remember when that song used to play on the 106 Park every single day and shit.
yeah. He's looking that up.
Young Jock got screwed over. Yeah, that recent Vlad interview was crazy as fuck. They didn't ask him why he was wearing a perm and shit.
Yeah, what's up with that? He was like straightening his hair and like he looked like he was part of the spinners and shit
Right.
with those hair dudes.
No, I'm gonna say most of this shit for breakfast in the morning and shit. Fuck this. I can't be eating too much shit late at night anyway. I got two Westbound vinyls by Ohio players lucky to have Climax and the greatest hits from the album from the label when they left Westbound. Yeah, Climax was dope. I even got their greatest hits as well too.
Right.
Better vocalist Lou Reed or Paul McCartney? Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
The Spinners or the Shy Lights? The Spinners.
Spinners.
Yeah. Alright. It's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna end this off right here. Fuck it. I gotta get up at 7 in the morning anyway and shit like that. So I got a few announcements I want to make. So for one, we're definitely gonna do the whole Bootsy Collins rubber band breakdown next Thursday, most likely 11 o'clock and shit. Also, I want to double check with Ashley if she's still available Sunday. If she's not, then we're just gonna go with Heat Waves Too Hot to Handle and shit.
Yeah.
What else? What else? What else? The beat battle. I'm gonna reveal the next beat battle next week and shit too. That might be early July. And me and Try were just talking about this one as well too. So
Yeah. My
we
list
can
is
kind
done,
of.
so
Hmm?
the list is done already.
Yeah, I know. I'm someone to work on my list this weekend.
Right.
Yes, yes. Alrighty. We just did a whole fucking little breakdown. Thank y'all so much for holding it down on the chat. Sorry again, I was late as fuck today. Well, I don't even know if I want to go to sleep at this point because I took me a nap earlier and shit. So
Right.
probably up for a good minute. Well, appreciate this try as usual,
No doubt.
and I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.